What if I was to tell you you could get beachfront property, half an acre, for less than $20,000 just a block from the beach?
This week we're exploring Bombay Beach. I have been so excited about coming here. 223 feet below sea level. And we got all the way around to where our friends are camped on the beach, no problem, and
sunk right into the sand.
Our tires are just spinning, so we just immediately stopped. So stuck. It felt really hard packed and everybody else is fine, but not for us. I have been so excited about coming here. It's been on my list for a while, and so when our friend said, come join us at Bombay Beach, we were like, hell yeah, let's go. I mean, it sure looks like the ocean. It's really weird.
But making that drive from Yuma, Arizona to here was not that easy. It was one of those crazy bus life days. The first problem we had was I forgot to put the Jeep in true neutral. It didn't roll, meaning I pulled it with the tires locked. It made a terrible screeching sound, and I immediately stopped the bus, but the front tires look a little more worn because of that.
Then we get on the highway thinking, okay, things okay now. And the wind picks up like crazy and rips our windshield cover off the car, and it's just flapping in the wind. Luckily, we kind of knew the area and we knew there was a casino coming up at the next exit with a huge parking lot for trucks. So we were able to pull over pretty quickly and take it off, but we were still a little rattled that things weren't going our way today.
Next big obstacle, pulling into Bombay Beach. There's like a tipping point, a fulcrum, a large berm. What would you call it?
I think they made like a berm so that wasn't going to flood the little town. So you have to drive up onto the berm and then you have to drive over the berm to get onto the beach.
And that over the berm is too steep of an angle, or we would have just scraped the whole part of the bus out. Found an alternative route. We had to go a little ways around. It looked like it was pretty hard packed, and we scattered it in the Jeep.
And we got all the way around to where our friends are camped on the beach, no problem, and then got into our spot. And
sunk right into the sand. Now, we don't have recovery boards, and we don't have a tow strap.
Sometimes you don't realize you need something until you run into a problem.
But as we travel, we keep adding gear and gadgets that are essential to bus life.
And we just discovered the dual lens articulating Borescope camera from DXZtoz.
I don't know about you, but I lose so many bolts and screws when I'm working on things. That's why I knew we needed this camera. I'm also excited to use this on the bus, so hopefully we can spot some small issues before they become big problems.
Like that time we thought we had a major engine failure when the coolant sensor started freaking out.
We had a diagnostic that cost us hundreds, only to find out that the pack rats had chewed through the wire casing.
Because the wires are made of soy and they think it's food.
If we would have had this camera, we would have been able to see this ourselves and fix it for next to nothing. It has this two-way rotating lens that can move 180 degrees, so you can get into those hard-to-reach areas and look around.
Plus, it has dual lens switching and a dual screen display for a super wide viewing angle.
It's also oil-proof and waterproof, so you can get it down into your pipes and plumbing.
And it comes with a hook and magnet attachment, so you can grab things that fall into hard-to-reach places.
You can capture video or still images with it. This thing's pretty cool.
right now you can get 25% off. Click the link in the description, and then be sure to check the coupon box before you check out to grab this deal.
Big thanks to DXZtoz for sponsoring this video and helping us solve real-world problems.
All right, let's get back to the problem at hand.
Stuck in the sand.
So stuck.
We're stuck in the sand. We thought it was going to be fine, but it just got too soft when we backed in.
Luckily, we got lots of friends with leveling blocks and all kinds of things. And it felt really hard packed, and everybody else is fine, but not for us. So there's a first time for everything. It's gonna happen sometime in bus life, and it happened. Our tires are just spinning, so we just immediately stopped. And our friends just jumped right to it. Everybody came out with recovery boards and straps and just started helping us. So we put whatever we could find underneath all the tires. I didn't think this was going to work, to use a little van that they'd paid $100 for to pull the bus out. Like, we're heavy.
Tires were down about 5 inches into the sand, and we were pretty nervous. Our friends had pretty good spirits and were joyfully helping out, but you might remember last time we got stuck, we knew it was going to be about $1,200 to call a tow truck. First try, it felt like it just yanked on the pulley.
Well, you got a little more on top, but then there was like suddenly like just dust and spinning.
I got out of the bus and took a look, and we made a little bit of progress.
What's it like on the other side?
The left side is just pushing the sand.
Oh, so that's the side?
It's rolling up the drive axle a couple inches onto some recovery boards. So I knew if we could get another good pull from that van, maybe it would work.
Oh, it's right on top of that wood now. I'm not sure if that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we should try it again.
Okay. Could not believe it. It just pulled us right out of there. It was like, what? This is insane. But I think what really did it is that strap is like a bungee cord. So Don said he could feel it. It really pulled the bus. It was insane.
And once we got a little bit movement there, we had walkie-talkies. I told Jared, who was up in front, to just pull us all the way up to the top. We'll just stay in the parking lot where it's really hard packed.
Once you're out, you don't want to get stuck again. Little did we know there was going to be more getting stuck in the sand.
The place we decided to park is pretty firm, and we feel really good about being here. And right across from where we parked is a sign. It says stuck, call Kim, and there's a phone number. So I bet you a lot of people get stuck out here.
There's also a Bigfoot in some creepy guy's head. Now, this place isn't everybody's cup of tea, but if you enjoy oddities, it is for sure something to see. So Bombay Beach is on the Salton Sea, which is actually in the middle of the desert in California, 223 feet below sea level.
Yeah.
It's so blue. It's so big. I don't know why I thought it would be smaller. Especially if you look out that way, because you can't see land on the other side. There's mountains over there, and there's no, well, there are some signs of land maybe, but you have to look closely. So it looks like it just continues.
The Salton Sea was created in 1905 when water from the Colorado River breached poorly constructed irrigation canals and flooded the Salton Plains here.
This 400 square mile body of water formed in a basin in the Southern California desert and has been maintained by irrigation runoff from the nearby valleys, farms, and rivers, making it California's biggest lake and the saltiest lake. From our understanding, the desert basin is what made the water saline.
Now, this area has a history of flooding, with ancient Lake Cahulia existing in the same location about 500 years ago.
By the 1950s, the Salton Sea became a celebrity hotspot and tourist haven for fishing and water skiing and boating. But today, it's a strange mix of abandoned buildings and a bohemian community with apocalyptic type artwork.
And the artwork was a big reason why we came here. Does that guy look a little like me?
A lot of the artwork has this real like Mad Max or steampunk kind of vibe to it, but a lot of it speaks to the area that was abandoned and became, you know, kind of a ghost town. There's these random like electric and telephone poles like on the beach. They're not going anywhere anymore, but they're sort of left over from a time where there once was happening stuff here.
We've been going for walks every day, usually in the mornings or the evenings, and everywhere we go we find some new artwork. It's really cool stuff. And at night, most of them have solar lights set up, so almost all the artwork lights up. It's really cool. We're not the only ones that get stuck in the sand. It's like a rite of passage to get stuck in the sand. We've seen 3, 4, 5 people get stuck in the sand.
It feels like every day somebody's getting stuck.
And we're paying it forward already. Our friends got stuck in the sand, and we're gonna try to pull them out with the Jeep.
Yeah! Woo! Another day, another rescue. This guy just came to help move some shipping containers for somebody on their property here. And he got stuck in the sand. Surprise, surprise. John's helping him out. This guy has his own strap, but it's obviously not as powerful as that bungee strap that our friends have. Moved a little bit, but it's too much weight. It turns out this is actually the robot he used to move the shipping containers. So he took it off so that both the Jeep and the robot could try pull the truck out at the same time, because one of the tires was actually stuck behind a big rock. And so it's almost just too fun now. Like, you just have to go and help. And this is the Sub Club. Quite literally an underground nightclub they've dug out in the sand. We had a lot of fun here the other night. Which is a great example of how this community really makes the most of this place.
Now, there's not much around here. It's a really small town, and I'd say probably half the plots are abandoned. But there seems to be a pretty tight community around here, even with just one restaurant, one little market, and a community-run coffee shop.
Now it's a little confusing when you look this place up and it calls it an abandoned ghost town, but obviously there are people living here.
The community has really embraced the history and kept this ghost town appeal. There's decay, there's art. That's why I love this place. It's like, it's art everywhere. There's a fake Sotheby's for real estate.
Office. They've got like the whole office in there and everything, but you come closer and these like shacks are like $6 million.
From something that was once this great beach resort town for families, it's become an attraction of a whole different nature. This is super cool. They got like a community museum slash library. Even more exciting, there are shipping containers. You know how much we love shipping container buildings. Talk to the spirits.
It's actually working.
Yeah.
Do you remember how to use a rotary phone? How old are you?
According to the 2020 census, there's only about 230 people that actually live here in the town.
But I just kind of wonder, like, how many of them are snowbirds? How many of them are coming down here for cheap living in winter because it's nice and warm in winter?
What if I was to tell you you could get beachfront property, half an acre, for less than $20,000 just a block from the beach?
Well, obviously this place is not what it used to be. Once a popular resort, it declined in the 1980s due to environmental issues that were affecting the Salton Sea.
From what I understand, the Salton Sea lost a third of its water in the last 25 years. And as the sea recedes, it exposes dry, toxic lake bed that becomes airborne dust. And many locals from the surrounding area deal with respiratory problems from the exposure.
With climate change and prolonged drought, the pollution from the runoff of farmlands, which have pesticides and heavy metals and all of this running into the lake, it has contaminated this lake seabed.
I think it's a pretty sad story here because this is mostly a man-made environmental disaster. The concentration of salt and chemicals in the runoff has increased dramatically, causing mass die-offs of fish, birds, and boy, sometimes it's pretty stinky out here.
Everybody pretty much left the area. It was abandoned, except for a few who decided to take advantage of affordable living and the option to live and express their art the way they wanted to. And of course, there are still farmlands nearby where people are living and working. Apparently, all these communities struggle with the health effects from this polluted lake.
Check out this abandoned trailer. Somebody's done a number on it with the graffiti. So even though the water is pretty toxic, the tilapia survived. I Googled it. Google recommends not eating the fish more than once a week. Basically, you can't enjoy the water, like with swimming or water skiing or boating, because it's just too salty and toxic.
The Salton Sea's transformation from a once popular resort destination to this shrinking, toxic body of water highlights the complex interplay between human intervention, climate change, and environmental management in a sensitive ecosystem.
Plus, there's rumors that this is one of the largest lithium deposits underneath the sea. So who knows what kind of industry is going to show up to try to get that lithium out.
This place is not everybody's cup of tea, but it is definitely unique and interesting. And I, for one, am really intrigued to see what ends up happening here and if the community can fight this ecological disaster or if this place will eventually become uninhabitable as expected. see even in the Bombay estates, there are still inhabitants, birds.
Besides its challenges, Bombay Beach is full of rich culture and artistic community. It's one of those rare oddities you only find on a great American road trip.
So if this place looks like something that would interest you, you better go check it out soon before it changes all over again.